Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Truth Hurts. I'm Andrew the Love Doctor, and I specialize in breakups with catching people creeping, lying, and cheating in relationships. Today I'm going to be discussing red flag number 171. Narcissists tell on themselves. In the end, you always think about the beginning. And the beginning is always good, which is why it's so hard to forget. Sometimes your heart needs more time to accept what your mind already knows. You know that life is a risk. And the biggest risk of all is taking a chance at loving someone. Loving someone isn't a mistake. Thinking they love you is. Love hurts when one person is in love and the other person is not. Most people don't know what love is. So the desire to save the relationship is not there, because the love was never there to begin with. A relationship must be maintained to be sustained. And most people don't want to put the work it takes to make it work. This is one of the reasons why some people are bouncing from person to person, from bed to bed, hoping for the ideal relationship. One of my Facebook The Truth Hurts group members told me, people are going to learn from my situation. I ignored my own red flag system because I was caught up in the rapture of love. And look where it got me. You have to be honest with yourself. Most of your anger is not with your narc. It's with yourself. Please see red flag number 55. Your narc wasn't the problem. You were. There was a lot of red flags that you ignored. When you're in love, you see everything and comprehend nothing. When you start giving too much importance to someone in your life, you tend to lose the value in their life. This is where you were stupid. And stupidity is such a harsh word to describe this situation, because the individual is subconsciously protecting themselves. Why do you think people ignore red flags? Because all their hopes of happiness for the relationship will shatter. Thus, as a defense mechanism, they choose to ignore what was said and done by their mate in order to protect their investment in the relationship. This is where the illusion comes in. The illusion is when you think you have something that's not there. Red flags are subtle warning signs that indicates that there's a problem that should be noticed and addressed before you invest any more devotion into an individual you are intrigued with. If you encounter red flags about what a person said, or how a person is acting, or what a person has done in the past, then let them be held accountable and let them thoroughly explain themselves to your understanding of what happened or what's going on, or you will be sorry. Red flag! If you ignore red flags, you will live to regret it. Burn! Never ever give the person the benefit of the doubt. There's a saying, never assume, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And trust me, in the end, you will be looking like the bigger ass. Now when you listen, key word, listen carefully to what a narcissist is saying, you will see in many cases they are telling on themselves and lying to you. You heard the lies that made no sense, yet you dismissed it. Foolish people believe lies. People lie to justify the nonsense they do. They're not going to blame themselves, thus they're going to make up lies and blame you, thus to make themselves look good. When someone lies to you, it's because they don't respect you enough to be honest. and they think you are too stupid to know the difference. I love when people lie to me when I know the truth. Yet at the same time, it pisses me off when they think I'm dumb enough to believe it. When we don't acknowledge those lies right then and there, we relive those moments over and over and over again, thinking exactly what we should have said and done. Please see red flag number 146, the hindsight of a narcissist. Narcs tell on themselves. Think back. Think back during your courtship with your narc. They constantly told you, little by little, what they were about, what they are capable of, and what they will put you through. They made statements that went over your head. Prime example of these statements. 1. Lilith. Some women get so much attention, and if she's highly attracted, whomever is giving the attention, she will give in. Red flag. When a person talks like this, they are talking about themselves. Run! Red flag. When a woman says anything of this nature, means no matter what a man does for her, if she's attracted to another man who gives her attention, and we all know they will in order to get her into bed, he doesn't have to do anything much for her. She's going to cheat. Her man can give her the world, and she will still cheat on him. Run! I've demonstrated this to you in red flag number 151. Old supply versus new supply with a narcissist. 2. If a mature woman finds a man who has the ability to fulfill her desires, she ain't going nowhere unless she's a nymphomaniac. 3. Most men aren't sexually fulfilling women like that. That's why women seek to go outside their relationships to be taken to that other level of orgasmic pleasure. 4. Lilith said in your book, you and Judy had sex every day for a month. Why don't you treat me that way? Red flag. Never fall in love with anyone who wants to reduce you to a sex object. Run! Red flag. Never stay with someone who wants you to treat them like a slut. Run. Red flag. Please see red flag 78, narcissists are nymphomaniacs. 5. After listening to Lilith's infidelity, I asked her, since you did this to your first husband, what's to say you won't do it to me? Red flag. After a certain age, 30 years and above, a person's character adopts to whatever they do because it becomes their nature. They may not do it as much, but when the opportunity arises, they will do the very same thing all over again in the same exact way. Run! 6. Lilith told me a man paid her $300 to take the day off of work so he could go to the hotel and give her oral. Red flag. Young hoes turn into old hoes. Run! The issue here is people think that at a certain age they are not hoes anymore because with age comes wisdom. This is what you call stinking thinking, because they are absolutely wrong. Wisdom does not come to idiots. Thus, if a person was doing whorish things throughout their entire life, they are going to do the very same things when they get older in life. Remember the point I made about being 30 years or older. 7. Everybody's been cheated on, but some just don't know it. Well, consider them saints. But I have no regrets, no remorse, and I went out with a bang. Red flag. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Run! Red flag. I have no regrets, no remorse, and I went out with a bang. She just told on herself. Narcissism, the lack of empathy and remorse, which means they can hurt you and not feel bad about it. Run! 8. I help people all day long. I don't want to have to come home and have to take care of someone. Red flag. Anyone that's not willing to support you when you are sick, run! Don't even give them a second thought. The purpose of a relationship is to grow old together, to have one another's back in their time of need. I'm upset with myself for ignoring this. Everything about Lilith's statement said she was not the woman I could depend on. The person who claims to love you says they will be too tired to help you if you're sick. And they're a nurse. That's absolutely sick. 9. If we depend on a man to take care of us in this day and age, we would starve. Just keeping it 100% real. I flew into Texas to spend the weekend. And all Lilith had for me to eat for that entire weekend was one taco. Red flag. Contradiction is a major trait of narcissism. People who talk to sound good are only concerned with their image. And a false image is of great importance to a narcissist. Run! 10. I'm confused. Red flag. The moment you hear the word confused, that's the indication that they are cheating on you. Run! She wasn't confused. She's a user. The confusion comes when they get caught because they thought they were too slick to get caught. 11. Now Lilith wants me to come back. I thought that I would simply have to submit my certificate to the state to get my armed security guard license. But I was wrong. You have 90 days to submit that certificate to obtain your license. Else the certificate expires and you have to start the whole security guard process all over again. All 40 hours of training and $350 for the class. You would think Lilith would offer to help pay for that class, since she's the one that caused me to lose out. However, that's not how Lilith's mind works. She's arguing I was at fault because I didn't submit the certificate on time. My argument was, I'm not going to be living in Texas. What the hell should I spend more money on a state license when I'm not going to be living in the state? I'm in New York, thinking never to return to Texas. As educated as Lilith claims to be, with her fancy RN degree, she couldn't comprehend this. This is when I knew something was seriously wrong with her, because she was adamant in her discussion. I knew it was a personality disorder, where she doesn't want to be wrong on anything. I thought it was a woman's thing, because you know how women hate to be wrong. But this behavior went above and beyond the gender thing. Little did I know it was a narcissistic thing. I didn't think psychological disorder. But I did think extreme selfishness, as her daughter told me. Red flag! Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Just run! Selfishness is part of narcissistic disorder. With a nurse that's college educated, I expected a much different breed of woman than the typical street woman I was accustomed meeting. That's what made me believe her lies. Why do women lie to men? Because stupid men believe them. I was one of those men. 12. You compromised way too much of your principles, and that's what happens when you allow people to do things against your better judgment and beliefs. This was the only truth Lilith ever told. This is deep, and I want to share this with you, because this may be your issue too. A member of My Truth Hurts group said, and I quote, "She doesn't miss you because I'm sure she never loved you. She played with your heart for her own gratification, popularity, and to keep from being bored. Yes, she spent time with you because the man she wanted to be with didn't want her, and she couldn't be with him. So it was like, if you can't be with the one you want, be with the one you can. Lilith is and will always mess over men who treat her good. It's like opposites attract. She is attracted to bad guys, and the good guys are attracted to her. She may have a good heart and good intentions, but she uses them with the wrong type of man. She probably was a good woman at one time and kept getting dogged out and hurt until she made it up in her mind that she's not going to love anymore. She doesn't have to love men in order to sleep with them. It's just a feeling, and when it's over, she's satisfied. God, that is the absolute truth. Then she moves on to one who tells her what she wants to hear, treats her like she knows she deserves, and gives her attention she desires. You call her a monster, but you never really knew her for who she was dealing with inside. It may not make sense to you now, but think about it.